We're going.
All right.
Oh, no, no.
Oh,
We're going
oh,
live. Oh, we're
oh,
live. We're live.
oh,
Oh,
oh.
oh. Hello. Hello, everybody. It's you. Oh, shit. Let me just do that again. Hello, it's the Chief Rabbi of the Liberalists here. And with me is, well, it's just Alkazai. How you doing?
Yeah, because Chicago's Jap and he's visiting his Jap family.
Yeah, the Maronite Gaijin.
Mennonite.
The
Maronite, it's Lebanese.
Oh, wait, sorry. The what is he again?
Mennonite.
Mennonite. That's it.
Japanese Amish, Megan.
Yeah, Japanese Amish guy. He's decided to betray us for Japan, and has gone to visit his cousins or something.
Yeah, his grandparents live in Japan.
Yeah, so
Paternal grandparents.
while he's eating sushi in like the Gundam cafe, we're on the internet. So
Yeah, I'm eating sushi in the Midwest, which is probably worse than what they have in Japan.
so like everybody in the chat roast Chicago and say,
Yeah.
"How dare you betray us?"
Here, the only two things you need to know about him is that he's Japanese and that he's a Mennonite. So
It's such a strange combination. I've seen
It
many
is.
mixed race people. I've met many
I
mixed
remember
race people.
I remember the live stream we had Scotch Oikos. He mentioned that he was Japanese and that he was a Mennonite, and after the stream I put those two things together, and I was like, wait, I'm sorry. And then for an hour I interrogated him about his heritage.
Hold up, bruh.
And he said, I find it really cool you take such an interest in my background. I was like, well, I needed an explanation
Because
immediately.
the two should not
No, that
should not twain or whatever the saying is.
whatever. Japanese Amish, not Amish, Mennonite communities have their own Wikipedia articles. They're
They
big
do.
enough to have one.
Well, in their case, it's not online. It's like a big library. It's
Yeah.
like an archive. It's all dusty and shit.
It's like, wow, nobody's
on
touched
papyrus.
this link in years.
It's like in papyrus scroll. That's how old it is.
Yeah, you know a subject has so little information on it if it was edited more than 2 years ago.
Oh god. So like, anyway, he's in Tokyo, right? He's in the best place to go in Japan. So
He was in Kyoto and Tokyo. I don't know.
Kyoto.
I think he's stays in like Tokyo with his family and then like takes bullet trains or whatever to the
yeah.
different cities.
Kyoto. I am in Kyoto. What you got for Kozya?
どすかだった旦那する
Daisuke. Daisuke, Tokyo, Daisuke. Means I like it or something. I don't know. Daisuke. I like it. Or is it? Oh wait, is it? It might mean. Oh, that might mean penis. I can't remember. Filthy Frank. I used to listen to Filthy Frank. He used to like rap and sing in Japanese. But so yeah, anyway, so it's just the two of us, as you can probably guess by the title, and we've got a lot to talk about today. We will be getting some guests on maybe next week. A very special one, hopefully, if he can be bothered. But well, don't worry, we'll get him on. So anyway, first off, I think this week has been the first time I've ever seen somebody get killed because of shitposting.
Alright, sorry to hang you dry. God.
What do you mean, hang me dry?
I left you.
You left me. So anyway,
I said, hold on, I gotta do something for a sec.
oh, I didn't hear you.
My my 1-year-old niece was like, wanted to show me something.
Aw, no.
I didn't even know what it was. It was like a wood screw.
But
I
then
said, oh, thank you. Closed the door.
Be gone. But anyway,
Thought.
oh, now she's only one. But anyway, so recently the Iranian general he got droned, and we've now since
Vibe-checked hard.
it's all because of some shit posting he did like 2 years ago with Trump, basically.
Wait, did he? Yeah, because like the Pentagon says they were threatening U.S. personnel, and they haven't released any evidence of that. It's like, oh, cool,
Well,
Iraq War II, Electric Boogaloo.
Well, there probably was threats anyway, but it wasn't necessarily all online. I mean, that was stuff that they were flinging at each other, like they were sending each other memes and stuff online.
Qasem
on
Soleimani
Instagram.
and Trump were.
Yeah, and well, you also got to remember that not only are they memeing with each other, Soleimani is also, sending funds to Shia militias that are engaging American forces in Iraq and Afghanistan.
I'm sorry.
so-
Yeah, governments are completely underrating meme warfare. They honestly are.
But the thing is, that escalated quickly though. in 2 years. It's just like, I bet Soleimani thought, that meme showed him. 2 years later, boom.
It's like, holy shit. It's like when the admin in a Minecraft server gets crazy with power.
Oh yeah, it's the Thor meme, isn't it? The banhammer.
Yeah. Or he just like grieves people's bases because he can go into creative.
Yeah, and that ticking.
Sorry, I'm trying to find some information on Qasim.
Oh, but like so people were really worried about this.
I'll hold the mic here.
That'll do. Don't worry about it. But anyway, so like this assassination happened. I think this was planned for ages. Like he was probably on their hit list.
Oh,
for
it probably
a while.
was.
I mean,
he was definitely on their lookouts for years.
but he probably had his own targets. Anyway, but he just
Qasim.
can't. Whoever really. I mean, there are people in Iraq who are American who would be strategic targets, whether to catch them or to kill them.
Yeah. Well,
But he can't.
Qasim pretty much,
He doesn't. He wouldn't have the power to do it directly. He would have to use militias to do it for him. But I assume that if
Yeah, because like they also blamed those Shia militants that attacked the U.S. embassy in Baghdad on Iran,
and Iran does actually,
which honestly is probably likely.
oh, it's
I don't
90
doubt
odd
that for a
percent,
second.
yeah, because Iran is the Shia power, and Saudi Arabia is the Sunni power, and that's why they're in a cold war, basically.
And then Iraq is literally like 51% Sunni, 48% Shia or some shit.
Yeah, it's a made up country, basically. I mean, Mesopotamia was a thing, but the modern state of Iraq is
We should have
basically
just
made
called
up.
it like the Republic of Mesopotamia.
It would be a federal republic with the Kurds get their own bit, the Sunnis get their own bit, the Shias get their own bit, and the Syrians and whoever else also
The
get their.
Shias.
Well, I don't know how you pronounce it really. Is
It's
it Shia?
Shia.
Is it Shia? I don't know. Some people say Shia, some people say Shia, but
Well, it's Shia.
Shia.
And then the demonym is Shiite.
See what I mean? That's where I get it. That's where I get confused. But so anyway, that's what the Republic of Mesopotamia would be. It would be a federated republic. But of course, the reality, history.
But of course,
had other
Sykes-Picot
ideas.
couldn't just let the House of Hesham have Arabia.
Oh yeah, as originally. Well, they had a civil war anyway.
Yeah, but they did give the House of Hesham Jordan and Iraq.
Yeah,
But now they just have Jordan because 1952 there was a coup.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 1942?
It was probably 52 because that was during the war 42, so it would have been after.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really know about most of the coups that went on in the 50s. I'm more interested in before then. But
No, I honestly love 20th century political history.
oh no, it's fascinating.
That's my thing.
I read a book called the Line in the Sand, which is basically the French and the Brits quarreling.
Oh yeah,
over
Sykes-Picot
Palestine.
agreement.
That's part of it, but it goes from the beginning to the end. So like the Israeli War of Independence, I think, is the final bit that he maybe he does the
Israeli
war.
War for Independence. What the? You talk about the 6-Day War?
No, that's in the 60s. This is 1948.
Oh, that like literally like the day they were created, everybody around them attacked Israel.
No, this is them fighting the Brits to gain
Oh, okay.
independence, because not only were we getting bombed by the Arabs, we were getting bombed by Israeli groups as well. And
Gary Uden.
and because we couldn't please them both, we did what America did, which is gain two allies during World War One or whatever war. It was World War One, but regardless, we got two allies who don't like each other, and we keep trying to placate them. But when we placate one, we anger the other, and that's basically what the US has done with the Kurds and the Turks. Well,
Yeah.
anybody really. Most
Honestly,
people.
the Kurds are not completely moral actors either.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm just saying that
Hold on,
they've got.
hold on. I'm gonna link a video in chat that's actually really.
Well, it's not about whether they're moral actors or not. It's just they've got two allies that they can't.
Well, no, but
placate,
like
so-
but all the left wingers are like, oh, but the Kurds didn't do nothing.
Yeah, but that's not the point that I'm making. The
Oh,
point
yeah.
is that America has two allies that hate each other, and
Yeah.
it's a balancing act, and you can't balance it because they hate each other so much. Anything you do that pleases one will negatively impact the other. There is nothing that those two can compromise on, and that was exactly what happened with Israel and Palestine. Basically, just the Arabs and the Jews. Really, that's what it is. 'Cause
All right, the
Palestine
video
a-
is by casual historian, real
Oh,
name
yeah.
Grant Hurst.
Oh yeah.
It's an excellent video. His channel is great in general if you like history.
But
I'll
anyway,
also DM this to you, Mitch.
you'll be angered to know that the French were constantly meddling with the Brits because they even during both World Wars they viewed us as the enemy. That's it, they had to tolerate us, and they were undermining us all the way through.
Dude, they were not aware of the bigger threat, Germany.
Well, they were, but they still consider England, because they don't say Britain, they say Anglais as the biggest threat. And when we were in Syria with them, when we were conquering it from the Vichy French, both of them were like, yeah, we don't like the English, and the Brits couldn't.
Yeah,
didn't know
aren't
who to
those
trust,
Anglos
so.
just fags?
I mean, don't get me wrong, we did the same thing to them, but usually it was in response to their meddling and politicking.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff they did was in revenge, because France can do nothing wrong, obviously.
It's literally France versus everybody.
It is, and they funded the Israeli rebels
Honestly, the First World War wasn't the first time they collaborated with the British either in
Well, it was a Crimean War, yeah. But
yeah, it was a Crimean War.
But well, there's even things before then, but that was all for religious. I think the 30 Years' War we collaborated, but we weren't.
30 Years' War.
Yeah, but England wasn't a big role. Didn't have a big role in it because we had a civil war.
Oh yeah, they did.
Midway through.
You did. France just wanted to say fuck the Habsburgs.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, yeah. Then we had the Civil War, then that kind of stopped that, I guess. But
God, the English Civil War is just a shit show.
it had to happen though. Like
George Orwell. I'm not George Orwell. Fuck, what's his name?
Oliver Cromwell.
Yeah, he should have stayed in power.
No, he really shouldn't have. No.
Oliver Cromwell did nothing wrong, and
He did something.
Fight you.
He did nothing wrong in Ireland. Oh.
10% population loss. Nothing wrong here.
I'm joking, but the right idea was to get rid of the monarch that didn't know his place, Charles I. But the problem was he just created a puritanical dictatorship, and it's like, no. So when the Americans go on about, you lot go on about the Puritans, they're escaping religious persecution. Well, they were the ones persecuting us, so we kicked them out, basically.
Yeah,
they banned they banned Christmas, dancing, music, some sports, other things. It was just, how can you live in that?
No fun allowed.
No fun allowed until Charles II came back, and then fun was allowed. That's what the song is about. If you've seen that, the Horrible Histories thing.
What song?
Horrible Histories is like a TV show for kids about history. I used to read the comics and the books as a kid.
There was a show here in the U.S. called Liberty Kids that used to air back in the early 2000s. That was literally just about the American Revolutionary War, and it went on for like multiple seasons for some reason.
But anyway, so in one particular thing they did the Restoration, the glory, when Charles II was brought back, and it's just about him, about how he was the king that brought back partying, and it's a good rap. It's got a good flow.
God,
but
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Wait, so was James II that was the one that was restored?
No, Charles.
Charles. Okay.
James II is the one that got kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
The one that William.
I was at a trivia with my school, and the answer was like, "Who was this Catholic king of England that was removed from the throne?" I was like, "Oh, James II."
Indeed.
I got the question right, and then like a girl from the other team called me a nerd. And I was like, "Go fuck yourself." It's like this is literally a competition called Scholar Bowl. Like, bruh.
Be a scholar, bruh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like James II.
I probably just doxed myself with that, but you know what? I don't care.
I don't think you said anything.
Yeah, I guess whatever.
Bruh, do you even scholar? Like,
no, it was literally just a trivia competition for like nerds and shit.
So anyway, Teabag DM'd me about a Keith Woods meme, how we can improve the meme. It's genius, actually.
I haven't even been keeping up with that because I just don't care.
Well, I've been making sure it's a daily occurrence.
That you just fuck with him?
I don't fuck with him, I just subtweet him. He can't see it because he blocked me, but other people can. And if he sees it through them, then it's all good, isn't it? So I don't usually directly fuck with people. I just subtweet them because it winds them up. Yeah.
You're a pussy if you subtweet.
No, not if you do it on purpose to wind them up. Then it's okay.
Oh, fine.
Because they'll see it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, also speaking of Twitter, I got some bad news.
What? Oh, rest in peace.
Mitch knows this, but a friend of ours, Scotch Oikos, who has been on the show, has been deplatformed off of Twitter. He has a new account. Let
Punished
me
Scotch.
punish Scotch at punish
You
Scotch.
see, he looks a little bit like a big boss type of guy, so he should just put his face on it, really,
Yeah,
with the scars and stuff. So
yeah, and a cigar.
yeah, so basically, how did he get banned again? You tell me, tell the audience.
So what? How do you get banned? I don't know. They according to him, Twitter didn't give him anything. They didn't give him like an email or whatever. So, but there was a tweet of his that said "BreadTube was the enemy is the enemy of the people," and he was quote tweeting Dan of Deutschland.
Oh yeah, Dan of Dakar, as I call him.
Yeah. So I think it was that tweet.
Do you reckon it was a fanboy or was it Dan himself?
It was probably a fanboy.
Yeah, I mean, I won't put it past Dan to do that though. A lot of them are like flag, like just
I mean,
they have
well, I
itchy
mean, he
trigger
wasn't.
fingers,
I mean, he
so-
wasn't wrong though. BreadTube is the enemy of the people.
They really are. Like I just, and it doesn't. It's not helped that nobody. Well, we can't respond to them anymore.
What do you mean you can't? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can, but they'll just twist it, and then we'll get banned. Oh, Chief Moody's in the chat. A fucking Moody. So yeah, we like I said in the Death of the Response video, we need to somehow figure something out, and we will. People always do. We'll figure out.
Well,
a way to do that.
I mean, this community sort of already moved on. Sargon doesn't really do response videos anymore.
I mean, I don't, but I was planning on doing
Nobody
more.
does. Oh, you're planning on doing more?
I was, yeah. But I think I know what to do. I think I've sussed it out. With
On how to do a
BreadTube,
response video without it having being harassment or whatever.
you
or
subtweet
considered
them.
harassment.
You subtweet them basically, so you don't you because they respond to us nowadays. So like,
Oh,
what,
okay.
what you do is you watch their video, which is about a topic, then you just do your version of that video, but obviously it's the opposite opinion, and do it better
Yeah.
than them. And then you basically subtweeting them because you can refer to you don't refer to them by name, but you infer who they are or infer
Yeah.
these talking points, and everybody will understand what you're on about. It's not a dog whistle or anything like that. It's everybody knows this is what they say. They can't get you on that, innit? Because it's just
Yeah.
a topic. It's just a subject, and they can't ban you for a sub. Well, they could try, but it would be hard to justify.
Yeah.
So that's what I might do. I might do that. Like maybe I could, but I don't know. Where would I start? I guess I'd have to just look at what they do, and then make a video.
Yeah, you can look at ContraPoints' latest video, whatever the fuck she
Yeah,
does.
but well, that's a video that everybody, well, people who have half a brain cell would agree that it's bad. Cancelling. But I
Yeah,
haven't even
but-
watched it. I don't give her the views. Give him.
I
the
haven't
views, whatever.
watched it. I just know it exists. It was in my recommended feed, and I told YouTube I
The
wasn't
thumbnail
interested.
is funny because for once they're not decked out in weird
They put
They-
more effort into the costumes than the fucking arguments they make.
Well, that's the type of video where you can't be style over substance. It has to be substance over style. But I don't think ContraPoints knows how to do that anymore. Like
And it's oh big galaxy brain, most galaxy brain take of all time. Somebody says if they aren't a fascist, they're probably a fascist.
Yeah.
ContraPoints. Remember that?
so like whenever
Hey,
ContraPoints,
ContraPoints, you're a fascist.
I know.
To be fair, that was probably a joke though.
I don't think it was a joke. I think ContraPoints believes that.
Mm.
I mean, why not? They take us literally. Let's not take them at their word, shall we?
Fine. Oh yeah, Dana Doy. Oh, by the way, the tweet. What's his face? Scotch was quote tweeting that got him banned. The original tweet by Dan of Deutschland was Andrew Yang's talk about not left, not right, forward is third party Nazi appeal talk. And I'm like,
third positionist.
yeah, third positionist. And I'm like, oh my god. Apparently it was a joke, but a bunch of the people in the replies thought it wasn't.
I mean, it's hard to tell when these people.
It's hard
are
to
joking or
tell,
not.
but God.
I wouldn't say he's a third positionist. He's just a leftist. But
I mean, Andrew Yang is really progressive, but he's not like he doesn't believe he's condemned identity politics.
Except
Is
when
what,
he's engaged in it.
except when he's engaged in it, he's such a hypocrite.
He
But like he
actually
doesn't.
is.
But when he does it, but he doesn't like demonize white people while he does it, which is
Yeah,
I'll let him get away
he
with it.
believes they'll kill Chinese people in America for some reason.
I mean, he's not entirely out of the question.
It's not going to happen though because those people are American, not Chinese. So
Yeah, but like but more and more Americans
even in
are
World
thinking,
War II, that didn't happen to the Japanese.
we intern them
Yeah, but
in concentration camps
yeah, but
or
they weren't
internment camps.
they weren't killed, and they
Well,
still.
because we interned all of them.
Yeah, at least let me finish. A lot of them fought for America as well. And
They did. But what you're missing here
But as
is
bad
that,
as
like,
it got, nobody ever died. So
yeah, but the perception of some people might be, oh, all Asians are going to be a threat over. You know what I mean?
yeah, but that's going to be like point what 0%.
Yeah, but I still think you'll see violence increase. I don't. I mean, sure, maybe he's
But it
like
hasn't
overdoing it a
happened.
little bit.
It's not happened.
It hasn't happened yet.
It won't happen because I have faith that most people in America are not that stupid.
No, I
He
don't think
doesn't.
so either.
He looks down on most Americans. So
Andrew Yang does not look down.
of course he does. That's why he thinks they'll be killing Asians. They all do that. Oh, by the way, we just OBS just disconnected for whatever reason. Then
Oh wait, did we stop streaming?
only for about a split second. It's all right.
Oh, okay.
But
All
yeah, I don't trust him.
You don't trust
him.
Andrew Yang?
No, I mean I don't trust anybody. But
Whatever.
I especially people like him who promise such big things.
Well, he's basically. I mean, I also.
And then on
But
one
also,
hand,
there's a bunch of like there was a few conservatives on Twitter a few months ago
Hmm.
who basically was like, Andrew Yang, show us like your tax stuff or whatever. Show us you're working for the Chinese government. And I'm like, bruh, his parents are from Taiwan. I think it was Mike Cernovich who said that, and I was like, okay, Mike Cernovich is a racist now.
which is
Didn't he?
weird because he's got a mixed race family.
He is. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, well, if you assume Andrew Yang's automatically working for the Chinese, even though his parents are Taiwanese immigrants, I think it's fair to call you a racist at that point.
I don't know. It seems a bit of a stretch, but
But even then, Andrew Yang is completely Americanized. He doesn't
Well.
even speak Mandarin very well.
no, I mean it's a hard language to speak. I mean, not even
Yeah,
many.
but even then, it's a lot of like Asian American second generation Asian Americans first language. It isn't even his, I think.
Yeah, I mean, even in China, it's not many people's first language. It's something else.
Yeah, but Andrew Yang's Han Chinese, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's all
it's
so
not even.
tiresome.
He also grew up in Schenectady, New York, which doesn't have a lot of Chinese people.
New York.
So he never got a chance to practice it outside the home.
Yeah, it's like Francis Fukuyama's Japanese American, but he doesn't speak Japanese.
Who's Francis Fukuyama?
How do you not know who this guy? Okay, he's
Should I know who he is?
yeah, of course you should. He did The End of History and The Last Man,
Mm.
Political Order and Political Decay,
Oh, okay.
2-book series. He's a very good.
Oh my god, he
philosopher.
is very Asian and he doesn't speak Japanese. That's so weird to think about.
He's good. He's a
Is
good
he like
author.
second generation?
I don't. Yeah, I think so. But
Oh, okay.
his last book was shit though. It was about identity, and it's just like
Was born in the Hyde Park neighborhood of Chicago. His paternal grandfather fled the Russo-Japanese War and started shop. Yeah. Second gen. Oh no, he's third generation.
Oh right, okay. Well, it makes sense. But like, it's still like his last book was terrible, but his other books before then are good. So I would still recommend
Wait,
him.
holy his father was a Congregationalist minister.
Oh yeah, there's
Wow.
Christian Japanese people.
Yeah, I know, but it's just so weird to think about. I mean, 30% of Chinese people are Christian, so it's not.
Really?
Well, he's Japanese. 30% of Chinese Americans specifically. Yes.
Oh right. I was wondering then. I was like, really?
Yeah, no, yeah, they are. I think most of them are like some form of Protestants, so like Congregationalists or evangelical or something.
That's weird.
Probably Baptist if they're from the South.
That's just so weird.
No, I mean I've not. There's a ton of like Chinese Catholics where I live.
It's like, do you
I
reckon
don't
World
know.
War III's on the horizon?
Probably not. I just like the memes though.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I mean, how does Iran even respond to that? They can't.
They can't. They don't have the.
I mean, just look at
economy to fight.
they don't have the economy that will last them. They don't have the manpower. Well, they do have the manpower, but
They have the manpower. They have plenty of men.
I mean, I think their population's not that much bigger than mine. But
I don't
it's just
know.
the equipment. They don't have the equipment to do it, and they know it. So they're just moaning, they're screeching, typing.
They have 81 million people, so that's 20 more million than the UK.
Yeah, we still got a bigger navy. Actually, our army's bigger than, or not bigger, but more well equipped than theirs. We've got more stuff.
Yeah, but bold of you to assume you're going to help the US in the Iran war. I
We
don't
won't
think you
even
will.
need to. I don't want to.
I don't want. Yeah, I'm
Truth be
anti-war.
told.
So okay, well, I should stop saying I'm not really anti-war anymore.
I'm not.
I'm just anti-war in the Middle East
Yeah, I
because
mean,
it never works.
I'm not a pacifist, but I don't see the point in going over there.
No, get the hell out of there, except for Israel. Unironically, Zionist here.
I don't even think Zionists are a thing anymore. It's why I don't buy the whole. Oh, we're not anti-Jewish, we're anti-Zionist. But
Oh yeah, if that's a dog whistle if I've ever heard one.
it actually, well, it is. Yeah, I
It
mean,
actually is.
like,
That's like the only like dog whistle
To
like
me-
you can prove.
to me, Zionists were people who were trying to create Israel. Well, now Israel is created, so what is a Zionist now?
To preserve it.
But then that's just nationalism. Then that's just Israeli nationalism, not Zionism. That's just
Isn't
being
that
a
what Zionism
country.
is? Just Jewish nationalism or Israeli nationalism?
Yeah, it'd be Israeli, won't it? Because not everybody is Jewish in Israel. So
Yeah, but I mean, I still think Jewish nationalism is an accurate descriptor,
yeah,
at least
well,
somewhat.
I guess. But the idea that the Zionists are still around, they're not. They're just now nationalists. They're no different to
I'll still call myself one because it pisses people off.
it
so.
does. Like I've been noticing a lot of countries are going against the BDS movement.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of
creating
the
laws.
BDS movement is no shit anti-Semitic.
Well, they are. I don't know if we should necessarily be banning them or something because
No, we should no, because in Texas you can be banned for like not supporting Israel or like
Which is
have
weird. Like,
receive certain punishments.
Yeah, it goes-
PSA Stitch had a video on it
yeah, it goes against freedom of association. I mean,
and
Yeah.
speech.
yeah, I mean if they start causing problems and issues, then yeah, maybe.
It's so weird. Because then you give like the argument to like, oh, the Jews control the world once. No,
Exactly,
it's just evangelicals in Texas.
Yeah, it's non-Jews creating these laws.
Yeah.
Like I think
No,
Boris Johnson
it's not just non-Jews. It is evangelical Christians.
Yeah,
and
even Boris Johnson is doing stuff like that. He wants to create a law about that. I'm like, why? I mean, they're the least of our worries anyway. Literally, the second biggest party in the country is doing far more damage.
I mean, honestly, and if you ban criticism of Israel or whatever, or ban the BDS movie, you're just gonna hand more power to the Labor Party, and
Yeah,
you're just gonna fuel labor anti-Semitism even more than it already is.
it's something with the college campuses or something like colleges can't show support for it or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's. I mean, unless they start,
I don't know about in the U.S. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm gonna go to a Catholic college. I don't know. I'll hold up an Israeli flag or something. See how they react.
it's
I'll
not.
catch back to you.
I mean, it's like their arguments don't make sense. Isn't it apartheid state? How is there is no state enforced apartheid?
Well, also there's like Arabic parties
Yeah,
or Arab parties.
and they tend to live in their own cities, but they're not forced to. They just did live there. Always have
And on
done.
top of that, most Arabs in Israel would prefer to live in Israel than anywhere else.
Of course they would.
In the Arab world.
I mean, there's some
'Cause,
people
like,
who
why the fuck would you
complain.
not?
There's some people who complain they're second-class citizens, but maybe that's more individual people treating them
I
like shit
mean-
than the law.
I don't know. Is it Majid Nawaz pro-Israel?
Yeah, I think so. And Imam of Peace is very much so.
Oh, also, but please don't confuse being pro-Israel with being pro-Benjamin Netanyahu. Those are not the same thing.
He's trying to turn himself into Berlusconi. Like I cannot be prosecuted because I am the president. Like, no, go to jail.
Go to jail. What was even what's the alleged corruption? What
I
did
don't
he do?
know. It's just corruption in it. I mean, he needs to go.
He needs to go. Nobody likes him. Like Pete Buttigieg is like very pro-Israel, But even he's like, fucking get this guy out of here.
He makes them all look bad, and he's a war hawk.
Same thing with me. Yeah, dude, he is such a war hawk. It's like, dude, he's not. We're supposed to have peace here, not war.
Well, I mean, he can't.
Yeah.
It's not always Israel that causes it. Most of them, it's the
I mean, when has Israel even ever caused a war or a
Um,
military conflict through their actions?
I'm not sure. There might have been a few.
I can't think of any. There probably was a few, but I can't think of any.
Six Day War was not them. Yom Kippur, I don't think was them.
Yom Kippur War.
Yeah, that wasn't them. Yom Kippur was not them. The first one wasn't. The first Arab-Palestinian war was not them. Maybe in a few in the 80s. I don't know. Maybe Lebanon.
No, I mean they intervened in the Lebanese Civil War, but
Hmm.
I don't really think they specifically caused that.
That was to protect the Christians and the
Yeah,
stuff,
because
isn't
like
it?
there was
Yeah.
a bunch of Christians fleeing Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
One of them actually is working for Fox News right now.
Nassim
Can't
Nicholas
remember
Taleb is one of those people.
Who is?
Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who did Skin in the Game, The Black Swan, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, also
Gad
Gad
Saad. Yeah.
Saad escaped. What was the civil war? It was between Hezbollah and somebody. Just the Lebanese government.
I don't know. It was Muslims and Christians, I think, mostly. With Jews caught in the middle. And can you stop typing every bloody?
I'm sorry.
thing?
I have to Google. Holy shit! This thing lasted for 15 years.
But anyway,
Lebanese.
yeah, it lasted for a long time. But what's interesting
There
is
was
like,
an exodus of almost 1 million people from Lebanon as a result of the war.
yeah, and it's
Holy
not. It's
shit.
a small place. It's probably about 5 million people.
Shit. Yeah, there's a lot of Lebanese people where I live.
And
I don't know why.
what's interesting.
My grade. You go first.
Oh yeah, what's interesting is like they all moved over to America or
South America.
Canada. No, America and Canada and places like that. And
Oh, there's shit tons of Lebanese people in South America.
really? Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shakira.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's so weird. There's my great uncle by marriage
Mm.
is Lebanese, and he's really rich, and he has cedar trees everywhere.
Of course he does.
Yeah,
Seems to be
like
the thing over
not real cedar trees, but like the thing on the flag, the cedar tree on the flag,
there. Oh yeah.
has that everywhere on his gates, on his mirror, in a bar downstairs.
So anyway,
He's
go on.
Lebanese AF. But I don't think he came as a result of the Civil War, or his family did. I think there's a picture of somewhere of his like grandparents in like the French Mandate of Syria. So I think they came after that picture or whatever.
Oh yeah, the mandate. Oh god, that was. It was the wrong thing to do. They probably shouldn't have split up the Ottoman Empire. Really,
Yeah.
it was a mistake. They should have kept it. They should have kept it, or at least it should have been just Turkey. But then, obviously, Ataturk had other ideas. It was him really that caused a lot of problems without realizing it. Because in his attempt to change Turkey and secularize it, he got rid of the Sultan. But the Sultan was also the head of Islam. Well, no, not necessarily, because the Sultan, who was pretty much already a figurehead anyway, the Young Turks had already sidelined him in the 1900s. He was the head of Islam. He was like the Pope of Islam because he was a caliph.
Wait, I thought Islam never had a pope or head.
Yeah, they did. It's called the caliph.
Oh.
The caliph is the Pope. He is the one who's basically meant to be the direct successor to all the people from Muhammad and later on. That's why there's a split, isn't there? Because there's the Sunnis who wanted it to be, I think it was not Hussein. I think that was a Shia. They wanted Ali, and Ali was the one who won, I think. Well, Hussein was the one who got killed. I can't remember exactly. But
I wrote a paper on this 2 years ago. I don't remember shit.
But anyway, regardless, there have been caliphs who have united it, kind of. Or at least given it.
Caliphs.
They've given it the impression of being united, and it seemed to work with the Ottoman Empire. There was not as much sectarian violence. It was more ethnic stuff. So it was Arabs versus Turks versus Armenians versus Greeks. All sorts. But by and large, there was not as many Islamic civil wars as there used to be. But then he goes, there's no more caliph because he's basically been ousted from his seat of power.
Yeah.
And Ataturk didn't want it because he's the prime minister of Turkey. Well, they should have kept him as a figure.
Was Ataturk an atheist or secular?
No, just a secular Muslim.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically what happened.
I
And it
bet he
was
was a secret atheist. I bet he was like, "Oh, this is all
no,
bullshit."
no, I don't think so. But he probably wanted it to become a bit more like what Western Europe is, where it's like religion is there, but it's not a big impact on people's lives.
Yeah.
It's there's a separation. That's what he wanted,
Yeah.
and well, it's been reversed since then.
Bro, I
Slowly,
need
but
some help. I need some help.
go on.
I lost 1.5 million Armenians and I don't know where they went.
Oh, how they
Ottoman
deny
Empire
that?
be
Like,
like.
genocide
That's
denial.
legit a joke between me and my friends all the time.
No, oh no,
So
I'm not. I found it funny, but it's like, how
yeah.
do they continually deny that? It's amazing how they've convinced the whole nation that it never happened, even though we've got the pictures, we've got the records and stuff like that. We've seen it happen. Oh, by the way, there's been a super chat from our boy
Oh,
Ebola
chat.
Chan. Happy
New
New
something.
Hey, I'm reading it.
Okay.
Happy New something something. Thank you very much, Ebola Chan. That's £1.70.
I reject that donation because it's in euros and I'm not a euro fag.
Neither am I, but
Wait, what do you mean you're in Europe? You're a euro fag.
The British are not European.
Yes, you are.
They don't consider us European.
Well, you're
I've seen
European.
people say that. Well, we're not, but we're an island.
What,
off
are
the
the
coast of
Irish
Europe.
not European either?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay. Dude, imagine fighting for independence and then cucking yourself to the EU. That's
exactly what they
Ireland.
did. Like, I was watching some clips of Father Ted. Have you heard of that?
Who's Father Ted?
Exactly. It's a comedy show. You know the guy who hates Dankula, the Irish guy.
Oh wait,
wrote
is he?
that.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, Graham Linehan co-wrote that with the guy who plays Father Ted. He's the actual brains behind it, Father Ted.
Yeah.
But, well, Linehan admitted that anyway, when he was humble. But they were mentioning in it, he had to ring the nuns for some package to get like sins forgiven, indulgences basically. What an indulgence is, and they said, it'd be £300. Like £300? No, I can't have that. How about the starter pack for 50? Like, yeah, okay. That's how old it is, Father Ted, that was still using pounds. Then they moved to the euro when, well, look what's happened. I don't understand how that works. The euro.
Right.
The euro, like, how the hell did they think that was going to work? One currency spread across all these different economies.
Hey, does it work relatively well though?
Well, apart from Ireland, Spain, Portugal, Greece, etc., nearly going bankrupt and bringing the whole currency down with them. I mean, I guess when everything is fine,
you're saying is okay. I see what you mean.
when everything is fine, it works. But when it doesn't work,
Wow, Mitch, really, it's big brain take there. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't.
well, no,
this is Mitch, everybody.
Even when it relies on a shut up. But that's not even funny.
Sorry.
That's not even funny.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
That
sorry.
was unnecessary sarcasm. when the economy is running fine, as in the world economy, when America doesn't pop its clogs, everything's fine because they can paper over the cracks because all the economies are doing well. But when there's one domino, there.
I'm sorry. Bad financial practices in the housing market.
Anything. I mean, the Great Wall Street crash. That was
That's just what caused this the last one.
That was farming and stuff, stocks and things like that, wasn't it? They were buying overinflated stocks or something like that, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it just doesn't work. It would work if it was just like Northern Europe, because they've all got similar economies. It's like Denmark, Sweden. Sweden's technically Norway's not part of it. Yeah, so Sweden, Germany, Denmark, France. They've all got similar economies and they're at similar strengths. It could work there.
They're primarily service economies.
Well, I mean, most of Europe is, but the problem is the southern European states have weaker economies for whatever reason, and it works differently down there, and it just doesn't. And Eastern Europe as well, they have weak economies, and it just doesn't work,
You would rather have everybody return to their own currency?
Well, yeah, of course. But honestly, it's just more stable.
The only thing the EU, I mean that the euro has done for me is it makes currency exchanges really easy.
Well, I'm glad that Gordon Brown had some economic sense to be like, no. Because we nearly did. I think we nearly became part of the euro.
What made you stop? What made you keep the pound?
Because the pound is one of the most stable currencies in the world, and has been for many, many centuries. So
You didn't want to. You don't want to change that.
we don't need to if it's designed to be stable. In many ways.
What makes it so stable? Is it just because the UK is so stable?
I don't know. And somebody mentioned it to me years ago. No, months ago that the pound is built to be stable. But I don't know. It is just a historically stable currency that hasn't really needed much, leverage.
You know what's also great? A bunch of Latin American countries are just slowly starting to like unofficially make the U.S. currency their currency. Like nobody in Ecuador.
Technically,
Nobody in
it is
Ecuador
Zimbabwe.
uses their currency.
It is in Zimbabwe, the unofficial currency.
Really?
Yeah, because
That doesn't surprise me at all.
there's so much super hyper inflation.
I thought they straight up just abandoned their old currency.
No, they haven't technically. But
Really?
yeah,
That's what Brazil did that when they had hyperinflation.
I think, but I don't think.
Yeah,
Zimbabwe
Brazil
did.
replaced theirs. I forget what the old one was called, but I think the new one's called the Cruzeiro.
Yeah, well, that's
In the 80s and 90s, dude, literally, like, the grocery stores would have, like, just people that would full-time change the prices throughout the day.
That's what happens when you print money, over and over again to pay for shit you can't afford.
Yeah, anybody who believes in modern monetary theory, please just stop believing in it.
I mean, just look at Weimar Republic. That's literally what happened, and that's what's happened to Venezuela.
How has modern monetary theory even gained traction?
It's just people assume this time it will work. It's I get
I would hear what do they think is the main cause of inflation then if it's not.
I guess assume it's capitalism, something capitalism. Usually, what it is.
Oh, are they just gonna like blame demand pull or cost push inflation?
I don't know, something like that. I'll have to look it up, but I know that it's the usual responses that you'll get. Or it'd be sanctions, isn't it? So like, say if it's a country that has sanctions, it's the sanctions that are causing the inflation, but it's like, but they're printing money.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah, it's I don't. Who even came up with that shit?
What monetary theory?
New monetary theory, modern monetary, whatever the fuck they call it.
New monetary theory. It was. I don't know who it is. George Frederick Knapp and Alfred Mitchell Innes. I think, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Keynes, yeah, Keynes
And
as well.
Abba Lerner.
Yeah,
Keynes?
yeah, of course it was. He was a big proponent of that macroeconomic type stuff. Print loads of money to borrow to pay. It's all right, don't worry. We'll just spend.
Spend.
Sven. Two of us, then why are three? Why are there multiple people watching? No, not you, Black Lord of Fenrir. Anyway, by the way, do you know we're actually competing with Harry today?
Harry? Who's Harry?
Harry Angladiv.
Oh, yeah, what about him?
We're competing with him.
Is he streaming right now?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
How do you... Oh, God.
Because I'm
how do you
sub to him.
spell his...
I'll
Harry?
have to-
Or
I
Henry?
will. No, I will copy and paste it, and you will find out eventually. Don't worry.
I know. I just wanted to go in this chat and say our stream is better.
We'll
But
not
I
stream,
don't know how to I don't know how to fucking spell his name, so I won't.
We will not stream snipe today. We are not going to stream snipe.
No, I wasn't gonna stream something. I was just gonna fuck with him. I was just gonna say I was gonna leave that one comment.
I don't want you bloody typing and creating background noise like every stream.
Yeah. Fair enough. Blacks.
Oh god. So anyway, I got noticed by Daddy.
Oh man.
By
Oh man.
Carl.
Man.
I feel dirty saying that. That's something you should say.
How often does Sargon make new fucking Twitter accounts?
I'm pretty sure he makes quite a lot. I think he has several that he has to use. on the regular?
No, because like I know one, I follow one of them, but like in a video where he had Twitter pulled up, I saw the profile picture was different than the one I follow, and I was like, oh god.
I'm pretty sure it was him because he posted the profile on the in the Mithraeum in Athens. So
Well, yeah, I mean Adam Friend and, PSA Sitch follow him, so like I think that's
yeah, he
Sargon.
has several, doesn't he? One for videos, one for shit posting, and one for backup. That's what I think.
Oh wait, oh I'm gonna follow the shitpost one. Where's the shitpost one?
I don't know which one it is. It could be either one, but I know that he really liked the egalitarianism video that I did yesterday. If you want to go into that.
Yeah, okay.
So
I haven't watched I've watched all the video yet. I'm still working on it.
So as you know, I came up with I tried to come up with an explanation for all the different versions of egalitarianism, at least the word, because loads of people use it in different ways. So like the communists are egalitarian. Well, what makes them egalitarian? Why are libertarians, some of them egalitarian, but others are not? So like academic agent. Well, he's not a libertarian, but who else? Not neoliberals, but the classical liberals. They're not egalitarian. They're against egalitarianism. Why is that? And I decided to come up with two different versions. I mean, it's probably not the most impressive intellectual thing you'll ever hear, but basically there's social egalitarianism, and then there's legal egalitarianism. And legal egalitarianism is basically, equality before the law. Basically, that's what you fight for. Now, one person in the comments said, "Well, technically that's not egalitarianism. That's just equality." But a feature of egalitarianism is equality. So therefore,
yeah, I mean,
I got what he was saying, and I didn't really disagree. But I thought, well, it still kind of works.
Egalitarians,
but like,
bruh.
There is overlap though between the social and legal. But I'll get into that. Then there's social, which is the idea.
Oh fuck!
What?
My jaw popped. Oh. Oh,
right
God.
when I was in the middle of explaining something.
Yeah, I was yawning and my jaw popped. Fucking. It hurt.
So then there's social egalitarianism, which is communism. Basically, that's really what it is. I mean, it's not necessarily communists have to agree with this and expound this, but it's the idea that everybody should be equal. Everybody was created equal, literally, not metaphorically, because that's really more of a metaphor. It's more like, I think what people mean by that traditionally is we have equal worth. I'd say, like nobody deserves to be mistreated by any bigger, governmental power, because, in the eyes of the Lord, back then, we're all the same. But it's a metaphor for It's the golden rule, but they take it a step further because a lot of them are scientific. And said, we're all literally created equal, when it's not actually true. We're not. And these are the people who want to redistribute the wealth and things like that, and get rid of private property because they think that will make things more equal, when actually it doesn't, because it never happens in practice.
I'm going to take away your private property rights.
So that's what social egalitarianism is. And then the overlap is the open borders types. They're legal egalitarians, technically. But what they want... But their legal egalitarianism extends beyond the the citizen. So they would give it to other people, but they still would not become citizens, basically. That's basically the difference. And I was trying to, basically say there are two different versions, at least I think there's two different versions. So his may be a good way to refer to it. I mean, you don't have to use the terms. I probably won't use them all the time, but I will... It'll be a good, that's a social egalitarian. That is a legal egalitarian. So just to keep it in your mind that, I mean, everybody knows that it can be used in different ways, and that's why it's important to, try and
There's
define
even
your
Christian
terms.
egalitarians.
Well, yeah, Christianity is egalitarian by its nature.
Oh yeah, what that one Galatians quote: "There is no longer slave, no free, Gentile or Jew, Roman or non-Roman, for you are all one in Christ Jesus."
Individualism.
I think that's how it goes.
Something like that. I mean, individualism had its birth in Christianity in many ways. Not Judaism, kind of, but the New Testament. It didn't create individualism as a thing. The Christians can't say they invented it. It's more like it has its origins in there, but there's other things as well. So there's other parts of ancient Greek philosophy and Roman philosophy.
Especially Aristotelian, because the New Testament is basically just Aristotelianism.
Not really, because they were basically creating that. They were melding the two in like the 1200s, 1300s, when all the when trade was coming back. At least intellectual trade was coming back to Europe, because it wasn't actually the Renaissance where most of the learning was reintroduced. It was slowly over time brought back to the monasteries, but when it was disseminated to the people via the printing press and stuff like that, that's when everything changed. But at least for us. But people like Aquinas and people like that, they were reading Aristotle already 300 years before the Renaissance. So the idea that the Renaissance is even kind of an interesting argument. Because I read this book, and he's like, well, the Renaissance was good and all, but was it really a Renaissance when you actually look back? This intellectual reawakening was already occurring. And this,
what's his face? John Green made that argument, is that the Renaissance was never really a thing.
John Green said that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Whatever it is. What's his YouTube channel?
Crash Course.
Really? Wow. Huh. Interesting.
He said on Crash Course History he doesn't think that like the Renaissance was a thing, because like a lot of these artists, I can't remember what two artists he listed that were both supposedly part of the Renaissance. And he said their birth, one of them was born 90 years after one of them was dead. Yeah. So he was like, can you really consider it like a movement?
Well, the Renaissance was the late 1400s to mid 1600s or something like that. So you can definitely see it overlapping. Was it Michelangelo, people like that probably he was referring to?
Maybe, I don't know.
But I'm sympathetic to that view, because there's actually, when I was doing my degree, there is such a thing as called the 12th century Renaissance. And that's what I was referring to, when all the monks were getting all the books back, or at least looking into their libraries anyway, and like, oh, this is interesting. But in that book I was reading, he didn't really see the Aquinas school as authentic, like, this is the birth of the individual in many ways, which I thought was interesting. But
you're the birth of the individual.
What is that meant to mean?
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, Black Lord is correct. Many argue it began in the third. I mean, it wasn't just in Italy; it was many other places. Germany, England.
Well, I mean, and it was also called different things in different places, because like the Renaissance in England is called the Elizabethan era.
Well, no, it is part of the Renaissance. We don't. It's not a separate thing. That's not what we call it.
Yeah, but that's what they call it in England, or
no,
what it was.
That's not what we call it. No.
I thought that's what that's what my drama teacher did.
Well, she's wrong, and that's why she's a drama teacher. He is a
drama
teacher.
He wasn't. No, but like he was talking about like theater, and then he got to Renaissance theater, and he said,
Elizabethan theater, but it's still under the umbrella of Renaissance theater.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, but
it's just like this. But I was talking about this, like, just like when you talk about it in England, it's called the Elizabethan era. That's what I was saying.
Well, I mean, that's just her reign, but it's under the Renaissance.
Because it happened under her reign.
It's weird, though, because English philosophical thought really came into its own in the 1600s and the 1700s, really. I mean, we had Milton and Bacon and people like that. But and Cromwell. The other Cromwell. This is Thomas. Yeah. This was Henry VIII's right-hand man before he had his head chopped off.
Yeah,
he was.
He might. I don't know. That term might specifically just apply to theater, and I'm pulling this out of my ass. I think it does. Whatever.
Yeah, it does. It definitely isn't an historical thing at all.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it started with Hobbes, really, wasn't it? When it really came into its own, and then Locke, and then there was a.
I need to read up on English political and economic philosophy sometime. Maybe I will.
You can't forget Cantillon, even though he was French. Well, actually, he was Irish, but Irish French. He's still part of that tradition. Yeah.
It was like, we can't forget about him, even though he's French.
He lived in London.
No, he's
He lived in London as well as France, and that became his permanent residence until he died, in a weird, mysterious fire. But like, he basically was the first Austrian economist in many ways.
Yeah.
And a lot of things he wrote about are still applicable to today. They're called Cantillon effects, and it's mainly to do with bubbles and things like that. Like I think he was the one who first noticed. Wait, there's bubbles, and there was like some Mississippi bubble, and people thought, oh, we're just going to continue making money through whatever market they were using, probably furs or something. But then it popped, and that created a lot of poverty and stuff.
Mississippi bubble. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, or something like that.
Mississippi Company.
Probably, and he
Compagnie du Mississippi.
And he just
Sorry,
explained,
I had to do that.
yeah, and he just explained why it occurred, and it's still spot on to this day, basically.
Did he also do that with the Dutch thing, the tulip bubble?
I don't know if he ever referred to that, but probably, maybe. I mean, he's definitely the one I've seen that first mentioned bubbles and stuff like that. And then there was Charles McKee, years later. He did a book about not just about bubbles, but many different things. It's like just people being irrational and weird, and bubbles was a part of it. Though, funnily enough, he fell into the trap. Oh, this bubble will not burst. It did burst. But I forgot what it was called. I've got the book, but it's an interesting thing.
Wait,
when did
the French become capitalist? Was that after Napoleon?
No, before.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, French and English industrial development is, well, at least financial development is parallel, but obviously to different extremes and degrees.
Yeah,
but yeah, they were
because I'm looking at the Wikipedia article for the Mississippi Company, and I see it's like founded in 1684. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
I think that's just when both the Brits and the French arrived in America in the same time, roughly.
Yeah, but I didn't know the French were starting companies and shit.
Yeah, everyone had a company.
The best one was the Dutch East India Company. I'll fight you on that.
Oh, they were quite brutal though. I mean, so was the British one, but the Dutch were quite nasty in the Pacific.
Oh yeah, I know.
Which is weird because the Dutch aren't really, associated with such brutal acts, but what they did in Indonesia and things like that, at least in the early days, it's quite horrible.
God, I saw a thing on like a documentary or whatever on YouTube about like the Dutch Indonesia, and then I went to the comment section and I found an Indonesian dude that said like I would rather the Dutch control Indonesia. And I was like, all right, whatever. there's a weird like small subsect of like people who live in former colonies who are like bring them back, but I see it more so with former British colonies than anybody else.
Yeah, like as Black Lord was saying, the French Revolution is arguably considered the first socialist revolution. It's important to remember though that the French Revolution was kind of like the Russian one. It actually was. There was kind of different revolutions within the revolution itself. So you've got, in the Russian one, you've got. It doesn't repeat itself in history, by the way. It's just patterns. But like in the Russian one, you got Kerensky first, who, well, he didn't depose the Tsar. He was basically forced to abdicate because
No, he deposed the Tsar.
Not really. He
made the Tsar go away. So.
Well, but he wasn't going to be killed or anything. It's just look.
Did you know Kerensky married an Australian?
I did not know that.
No.
But anyway...
I didn't know that either.
Anyway, so that happened. That was the Mensheviks and other associated groups. And then Lenin
there were also
along.
the anarchists.
Well, the anarchists maybe were there as well. But then obviously Lenin came on his train, and then that created the Communist Revolution. Just like in French Revolution, there was the more classical liberal types who initially started it. But
the Lockeans, I think?
More Voltaire, I'd say, than Lockean.
Yeah.
But anyway, they started it initially, but then it escalated, and then Robespierre and the extremists took over. And then there was people like Babeuf who came along as well. And they were the socialists.
And the Jacobins?
I don't know exactly which order, but there's so many different factions.
Yeah, I mean, the Jacobins were their own fucking thing, too.
I'm surprised they survived as a country, really. The levée en masse basically saved them. But yeah, Babeuf is what Black Lord Fenrir is referring to. That was only one part of the French Revolution. It wasn't the whole thing, which is important for people to recognise that it was a revolution of many things, and ultimately it coalesced into Napoleon. I don't think he was a socialist, but eventually it had to calm down. Again, there is a horrible history skit about that, but yeah. It's not really the first socialist revolution. It's really not. There was just
Because there were a bunch of them who were like laissez-faire types
yeah,
or
it was
whatever.
birthed there though for sure.
Sure. Yeah, because you then had like you had people like Proudhon who started writing around
Pretty
that
sure
time period. I think.
Proudhon was way after that. He was
Really?
19th. Yeah, he was a contemporary of Marx. He was definitely not in the 1790s. He may have been
Oh,
born
I
in
thought he
that
was in the
time.
79.
He may have been born in the 1790s, but I don't think he was actually a lot. Having an active part in the revolution. No,
No, yeah, Joan born 1809. Sorry. Oops.
bloody Zoomer. That's what he is.
That's all. That's all. Okay.
Epstein didn't kill himself. What? Hi, what's going on? Podcasting. Oh yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
load of new. I've got a load of new subs now, thanks to Carl. So thank you, Carl.
Oh, you do.
I do. Welcome everybody.
Hello. I'll introduce myself too for the new fags here. Hello, I'm Alkazai. I'm a tiny neurotic 18-year-old who happens to be friends with Mitch.
Well, he's not actually tiny, but I like to imagine he is.
Mitch can't handle the fact that I'm 6'2".
Well, I couldn't handle the fact that Ebola-chan is 20.
Oh god. Yeah.
I can't believe he's 20. It just doesn't make sense. It's not my idea of Ebola-chan, basically.
He wanted to be 30. Well, he'll be 30 one day.
He will be. He will be. God,
Yeah.
God, I'm only 3 years away now. No, yeah, I am technically. I will
No,
be.
you're 4.
It's far for now.
Don't worry.
I
It's
don't know.
okay.
As long as I've got a good life at 30, everything's sorted out, I'm okay. I'll be okay with it.
Do you have things sorted out now?
No. As long as everything is sorted out, I've got everything that not everything that I've dreamed of, but as long as I'm on the right course, I can live with it. Yeah, me and what? I thought Fenrir, you're a year younger than me. Apparently, we're only days apart.
Hmm.
Yeah, young
Oh,
millennials.
does Scout cover stuff done yet?
I've not asked him to. Remember.
Oh.
Basically, I'm doing it when I get paid at the end of the month. That's when I'm doing
okay.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you get paid monthly?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Why do you get paid weekly?
I get bi-weekly.
It happens in some places, but I've never worked in a place that does that. So.
Yeah, my dad used to be a truck driver, got paid monthly. My parents hated it.
Well, I understand, but you just have to budget more. You'll still be, and it'll be alright.
Yeah, it just takes more effort. But now he runs a
I'm
small
used to it.
business. Now he runs a small business, so I
That's the
don't know,
goal
I don't
for
know
me.
how often he pays himself.
Like, I still want a job.
You kind of run a small business with this YouTube channel, don't you?
Kind of, but it's not anywhere where I would consider it a business. I still
Yeah,
wouldn't.
No, it's not. It's nowhere like I don't know.
I would never make it my
PewDiePie or
full time
something.
job. I would never.
You would
Even
never
if-
make this your full time
no,
job.
No, because you never know when it's going to be taken away. You never know, and the market is so weird. Like you can do everything right and get barely any views. You can do everything wrong and get millions. So like, it's a weird market, and it's best to just treat it as a hobby. And if you get loads of money while doing it, that's fine. But I'd rather have a career. I'd rather have a skill. So like, because if I make this my full time job, that basically kind of creates a gap in my CV. Even though it is a job, I'm not one of those people who thinks that YouTube is not a job. It is a job. It's a new kind of job, but
Yeah, it's relatively new.
But I think that boomer employers and a lot of other employers would think, well, does he have any skills other than editing and stuff like that? Like, I want to learn a skill, so I'm at least useful. And so
No, don't worry. If the boomers are still around, you can trick them to thinking you're good with computers.
Well, I mean, I'm not bad. I'm not bad with them, but
Oh, that's what I
as a
do.
Megan says
Honestly,
but as
from what I hear, IT people do most of the day, I could do that job right now.
you'd be surprised. It is quite technical though when they have to do something. But
Yeah, I know. But like, if it's mostly just people not knowing how to like fix their computers or whatever, I can do that.
the way
I just haven't.
But the way
What?
I see it is like, as Megan said when he was on the podcast, it keeps you humble. It keeps you grounded, and
Yeah.
I'd rather have that, to be honest. Like, I used to think, oh yeah, YouTube could be my job, but it's like, no, I don't believe in that anymore. Especially since the apocalypse. I mean, maybe things will get better, but I don't think so.
Oh, if things will get better, they'll get worse before they get
This is
better.
why I'm thinking about, writing books. Because self-publishing is probably more profitable than this. Like
Yeah.
the Critical Drinker, who I watch. You probably watch him as well, don't you?
No.
He's one of the new movie reviewers, like Mauler and people like that.
Oh.
But he's not as long. He's actually quite
Oh
short.
God. That's why I hate M. Lauer for. His videos are so long.
I
Hold
like
on.
Mauler. Where you going? Okay, it's me on my own. I think probably it's his little niece or something was like, hey, look at this. So anyway, before I get into oh, you're
Alright,
back,
I'm back.
yeah. So anyway, like he writes books for a living. You still there?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So he writes books for a living, and he seems to be doing okay with it. So I thought, well,
Yeah.
I could do that,
Would you write fiction or political stuff?
but I could do both. I plan on
Okay.
doing both. Loads of people do both. Like H.G. Wells did
Yeah.
both. So
I would really like to be a voice actor. think
I
that'd be
thought so
fun.
too, but my voice is not developed how I would like it. So I just don't have the lower range to be a voice actor. I mean, not that would be a problem. Like
Yeah.
you need people who are high and people who are low or can do both. But I don't know. I'd like to do a range of different voices, but I just can't, unfortunately. Maybe you can get
I
training.
used to be able to, but then I hit puberty.
I think you can do training. They obviously must
Yeah.
have training. Does Mitch want
A
to
friend of
be
mine,
a
a friend of mine
British-
wants to be an animator, so I said, "Here, I'll lend you my voice." So if she
Fenris
becomes
asks-
big enough,
Fenrir asks, does Mitch want to be a British Sticks? I don't want to be literally a British. Well, Sticks doesn't really. He compiles books. He's an editor. He's not an author. I mean, I guess you say public. I mean, I'd be self-publishing, but the problem is I'd be doing a lot of. I'd be doing a lot of history books, and I've
Mitch.
nobody to peer review it. And that was,
Mitch, how about do like a sequel to Democracy in America or something?
well, that's
But for
I planned one of the ideas is a British version of that.
yeah, but like do that for America too.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Oh, come on.
No, you do it.
No,
I mean,
I need to read
I've never
Democracy
been
in
to
America.
America, so I don't see the point in doing that. But
Well, no, I mean, what's his face? Tocqueville never
Yeah,
hadn't
he
been
did.
to America.
yeah, he did. He went there for 8 months.
No. He hadn't been there before.
True, but before he wrote the book, he travelled, and then he
Yeah,
wrote
that's
the
what I'm saying. Just come here, travel for a bit.
I don't have the money for that. But the British one I can
Go
do.
fund me.
I could do that, but I don't know what he did when he was travelling. Did he just talk to people?
Yeah, he talked to people.
Oh, I
And
guess
I just like so basically I think what he did, he traveled around various parts of the U.S. And like talked to people, ate at the restaurants, had talked about them. What did they think about politics and and cultural issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he observed behavior too. Is one of the bigger things he did. I think. Honestly, he probably observed behavior more than he did talk to people.
Yeah.
Because like one of the things he had observed was that like in a democracy, people care more about acquiring wealth than they did in like Europe. Because like when you're a peasant or whatever, there's no chance for you to move up the social rank, so you don't really give a shit about finances that much.
True. Yeah.
But he noticed since in America, since it was a free society, you could move up. There was that small possibility, and he saw people were way more preoccupied with finances than they were, say, in France.
And that's what they got from us. I was like, you little knees. Oh.
What the fuck was that?
I could hear your little kid in the background.
Oh yeah. So, thank God it's not mine.
But anyway, yeah, like I could only do one book like that, I think. But I wouldn't make it as long as a.
Oh, I'd love to write a book like that.
I mean,
Just travel around and then compile my thoughts.
I don't think I could write a book that's 800 pages.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you
I
could.
could, but I don't. It's too long.
You don't want to put in the effort.
500. No, it's not the effort. It's just you can do more with less. Unless it requires it, I would never do it. My idea is I just write a chapter as an essay, like
I
a
swear to
month
God.
or something. So like,
Yeah, you'd write like a chapter a month while traveling around.
it'd be more like they'd be essays, but
Mm-hmm.
then they would obviously be collected and made into a whole. That's the only way I could conceivably write a book.
No, I think I would do it. It was like I would visit like an area and just have a chapter dedicated to that area. So I'd probably write 2 books, one for like each area I visit, and then like have like another book or essay or whatever compiling my thoughts as the nation as a whole. I think I would do
With
that.
fiction, it'd be different because I've noticed I've stumbled across a good method for me, which is to just write whatever comes to my head.
Sorry for the child.
It's okay. We'll be ending soon. But my idea for the fiction is just write one story that will never be published. It's just a skeleton. It's like, here's all the ideas. There's no, and then pick good things from it, and then come up with a plot, and then that's your book. You just rewrite it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Would you do something like a Game of Thrones type, like a fantasy world or something?
No, that's not my thing. I'm more into sci-fi and things like that. That's more my thing.
If I were to write fiction, I'd probably do historical fiction.
The problem with that kind of fiction is it's the names and the stuff. I'm terrible with names and coming up with place names. I don't know. I don't like that. It's just cringe. I find it cringy coming up with names. And dialogue, I think
It's not cringy coming up with names.
No, I cringe when I do it because it's like, oh, this is so bad. This is so bad.
I like coming up with names, but then all my friends say they're shit, and I don't agree with them. Because like I tried in the little Minecraft world we have. I tried naming the village we set up. We didn't do it on purpose. We just all built our houses near each other. So I said, well, this constitutes like a village or whatever. So I named it Saint Bavo. I named it Saint Bavo after a Belgian saint. They said that name's stupid. I'm like, okay.
How about I was thinking, I've got the democracy in Britain. But then again, I don't know. Depending on how the culture war goes, I might not ever rate.
Oh yeah, yeah. Also, keep in mind, Tocqueville was a foreigner.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You could do that for like Ireland or whatever.
Technically, I'm not really a foreigner there.
Wait, you're not?
Not really.
Are you an Irish citizen?
No, I'm not an Irish citizen, but we can all vote in each other's countries or something like that.
Oh, that's cringe.
It's a weird thing. I don't know. It goes back to the 20th century or something. They can vote in our elections.
Why?
Because
is it part of the Good Friday Agreement?
No, don't think so. Because we used to be one country, didn't we? I don't know. Maybe they have to have lived here for a while, but they can vote. Yeah, I think we can vote in their. Well, I don't know if we can vote in their country, but I assume we can. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So if you're a British subject or an Irish citizen, you can vote. But
I just thought of something stupid.
Ireland's not. No offense to the Irish people who follow me, but as much as I meme, I'm not really interested in Irish history that much, really.
Yeah. Oh, there's nothing there, but like
there is some there.
Move to Dublin. you as a British person, right? Move to Dublin. Vote for like Sinn Féin.
I could never vote for Sinn Féin terrorists. I would vote for their version of the Monster Raving Loony Party. That's what I would do.
Oh my...
You know, the
weirdos.
weirdos.
I love that party. Yeah. A vote for Lord Buckethead.
You know, Binhead was or whatever he was called, the Bin Man guy. He was the actual Buckethead until he was replaced. So he then ran against them as a different persona. So the Buckethead that was running this year is not the same Buckethead. But he won.
The 2017 one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
It's well funny though.
Oh shit! I haven't seen John Oliver's reaction to the.
Oh my god! It was so bad.
My god, I hate John Oliver. He is only popular because of his accent, and I hate that.
He has an horrible accent.
Yeah, it's working class too. It's not even like smart. It's not. It doesn't even like sound smart. It's not even like it's not even upper class London accent.
It's estuary.
Typically is.
It's Thames estuary. That's what it is.
Is he from London?
Yeah.
Thames estuary.
Something like that. I mean, there's loads of different London accents.
Yeah, I know, but it's just that like, it's not even. I hate that Americans are so fooled by the British accent.
President, just do it. That's actually what I said.
I can't. That is one of the worst things I hate most about this country is how fooled Americans are by people with pretty accents.
It's because they don't think their accent's pretty.
Yeah, and then I mean, I had that image shattered once I met you. You know, you just meet one dumb British person.
You know,
shattered forever.
Yeah, you met the actual hinterland British person. You're like, oh no.
Oh no! Oh God! What are these scum of the earth?
You should see my Yorkshire family members. Your mind will be blown.
Oh God! Did they sound awful?
No, they just sound like they're from Yorkshire. No,
Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I'm not from.
I'm
I'm not
from
from
I'm
your
from
land.
Rotherham. No, I tell you what is a nice accent, Cumbria.
Is the Cockney accent still a thing?
Of course it is.
Oh, okay, good.
That's what Oliver is.
But I thought you said he's Thames Estuary.
Well, that's just a version of Cockney. Remember, Cockneys are people from London. From London.
Yeah, I thought it was from East London, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh man.
but we just blanket call all people from London Cockneys. So, but they don't agree with it. There's a weird like thing where if you're not born within the sound of like Big Ben's bells, then you're not a Cockney. But if you are a Cockney.
Oh yeah, no, it's not the Big Ben. It's a different church.
Oh, is it?
I think it's St. Mary's Church.
Oh, right. I thought it was Big Ben.
Maybe.
I thought it was Big Ben. You know, bong, you're
No,
a Cockney.
it's
You're not a Cockney.
Oh, you're not a Cockney.
Because you can't hear it, innit? So you're not a
Oh,
Cockney.
it's St. Mary LaBelle.
Oh, right. Okay. Interesting. I always thought it was
Yeah.
Big Ben. Oh well.
I mean,
You know, it was a.
Americans are slowly starting to lose their accent, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Well, you know, there's
Or like their regional accents.
there's a horrible histories book about language. It's more about the British language, really. You know, English and stuff like that. All the accents. Cockney started off as an insult.
Guys, I was gonna say, the fucking Brooklyn Bernie Sanders accent, that's starting to die off. No. Yeah, I really like that accent though. I love it so much.
Yo, dog, what you doing? What you saying?
Chris Ray Gun still kind of has it, but
Hey guys,
I-
how you doing?
I feel like he's still like the exception to that.
How you doing? I'm Chris Reagan. How you doing?
But no, I'm starting to notice Midwesterners are
You
starting
don't
to
think
lose
he
their
sounds
accent.
like Bugs Bunny? He's Chris Reagan.
Yeah, when he puts on the character. Yeah, Chris Ray Gun.
Technically, that's Brooklyn and what did he say it was? The voice actor. It was Brooklyn and was it Harlem?
Yeah.
Mixed together. That was the voice. He said, "What's the two toughest accents? Brooklyn and maybe
I wish I
Manhattan.
could-
I don't know, but
Manhattan. Man.
well, that's a
But
posh
there's
bit,
there's a
innit,
particular
Manhattan?
there's a particular accent here in St. Louis that's starting to die off, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Accents are dying off here too.
Yeah, I'm like there's a highway that runs through St. Louis called Interstate 44, but for some reason I don't know where it comes from. People, the older people from St. Louis say farty far. They replace their ORs with Rs, so they say like of cars, harse, warsh.
Wash.
Warsh. It's either warsh or warsh.
Wash. AOC
Those-
apparently has a Californian Valley Girl accent.
She does.
Is she actually a New Yorker? I don't think she was actually born there.
No, she was born in the Bronx.
Oh, really? Wow, that's rough.
But no, that's just the standard female American accent now. It's just Valley Girl.
Yeah,
Because probably because of like movies or whatever
like
portraying
Taylor
those girls
Swift
as hot.
Is like so great. Yeah. Oh. Like,
But-
oh my god.
It's always nice when I encounter somebody who says farty far.
Do you remember when Californians used to be like, whoa,
Oh wow, surfer dude bros.
whoa? That's just a Californian
I hate
accent, right?
SoCal.
Oh, SoCal. Whoa.
No, North California is an
Wow.
entirely different entity.
Whoa.
I mean, you meet somebody from Roseville and somebody from like San Bernardino, they're gonna be completely different.
Yeah, like
I mean, but
bloody
even
Brie
even
Larson.
Roseville and San Francisco.
Yeah, Brie
San
Larson
Francisco
sounds weird.
barely does not count as Northern California.
Brie Larson doesn't even sound Californian. She sounds like a Canadian. Oh, you know, I'm Brie Larson. How you doing?
Where's Brie from?
California.
Where in California?
Hang on. Brie
Because it really depends where.
Larson. Brie. Sacramento.
Yeah, I can see that.
Where's that? The north?
Sacramento's about about 100 miles east of San Francisco, I think.
Oh, so it's southern.
No, it's central.
Oh. Oh, how you doing? I'm from Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento. I've never been to Sacramento. I've never met anybody from Sacramento, so I don't know.
San
I
Diego.
know nothing about that city.
Let's have a look. Oh, her dad's French Canadian. That explains it.
Her dad's French.
That
Okay.
explains the slight Canadianness.
We have French people here.
Do you? Oh, yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Besides Louisiana, we have some in Missouri, but they don't speak French anymore.
They wouldn't, would they? Or
No. They
yeah,
never. Well, the main reason was there was never. One of the main reasons they were all like working class poor people, so there was never an upper class that would like preserve the language.
You think
Unlike
there would
in
be?
Quebec, and in Louisiana, there were no like wealthy people that spoke it, so
Which
it was
all
really
fur trappers.
it was all fur trappers. No, not in Missouri. It was the southeast. It was all people who mined lead.
Like,
So it was like they were real working class types. So when in the 19th and 20th century, when Anglos started moving in, they saw them as like it was seen as like poor and uneducated to speak that particular dialect of French. So it started to die out.
No,
I don't think there's anybody that speaks it anymore besides one person, but he doesn't even speak it natively.
But like,
He's some Scottish dude from Illinois. He just happened to play fiddle with these people.
but like, we were discussing French accents before we came on, and I showed you this Thomas Piketty dude, and I'd never. For those of you who don't know, he's an economist, and I'd never heard him speak before. I didn't even know we could speak. I didn't know we could speak English.
Is he from Paris? I feel like he's from Paris.
I don't know. Thomas Pick. There he is. I think he is. No, cliche.
Oh, okay.
But that's like South France, I think. So,
I was gonna say it's like he sounds very.
oh no,
Parisian.
he's near. He's not far from Paris, but he's closer
Yeah,
to.
because let's say his accent sounds Parisian.
He's closer to Normandy.
Oh.
But anyway, like he was like up. He said, "Are you up? I sound good. Up." The French accent's weird. Up. Like
Yeah.
JF does it all,
What?
but he's Canadian, so it sounds even weirder. Like there's
Oh,
more
dude,
such thing as
The
a
main
retarded
difference
oi.
between French Canadians and European French accents
Yeah.
is that when French Canadian French people from France pronounce the th,
Yes,
they say
sir.
zis, that, and zis, and zos.
Yeah.
But French Canadians say dis, dat, and dis, and dos.
this, that, all.
That is the main difference.
They sound more Canadian.
Yeah. No shit.
But like
No,
some
but
of
the
them
French
you
people
don't.
in Missouri, they speak the French they speak is so awful. Like if you bring a Parisian in there, they'll like die of disgust.
This is barbarism.
This is barbarism. What is
The
this?
Quebecers would just laugh like, "Oh, this is funny."
No, that's actually very similar to Quebec and Cajun French.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I
Because
used
they're
to
from
know
the same
Cajun.
area.
This is the
Yeah, but like there's a few phrases like if I were to say to a French person, "Trois entendre toujours aussi," they'd look at me funny. I think.
But
I remember saying it. I said it to a French guy in SFO's Discord server, and he was like, "What did you say?"
What did you see?
He didn't have a French accent actually. His parents were English.
So it was like, what?
His parents were English, but he grew up in a place called Lorient.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, "What the fuck did you say to me?"
What did you just say to me, you little bitch? I'll have you know I'm French.
If you're wondering what the phrase means, it's 300 years and we're still here, because that's how long they've been there.
300 years, we're still here.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a few
Teabag is
more I
asking
know.
us, has Keith got a job yet? As far as I know, Indeed has not said that he has, so...
Okay. There's another phrase, c'est bon de vous dire. I said that to a French friend of mine in high school, and he said, what did you say to me?
What did you just say to me, you little
What did-
Anglo?
I showed him some songs in the language, and he was like, "What is this?" He was like cringing about how bad it was. It was kind of funny.
This is
But it
just
was,
weird American French.
Yeah, c'est bon de vous dire means it's good to tell you.
It's good to tell you.
There's a few stories from that culture that still exist in France, I think. But like whenever they tell like a little child story, instead of saying once upon a time, they'll say c'est bon de vous dire. It's good to tell you.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, it's French.
Yeah, but even they say once upon a time.
They probably do. I know they do say once upon a time, but they say it's good to tell you then once upon a time. Sorry.
Oh, that's so weird.
So they'll be like c'est bon de vous dire. Petit Jean, c'est Adam. It's like da.
French is a weird language.
Yeah, but one story, Little John and his animals, I think is still a popular story in France,
Hmm.
and even like some English speaking areas, you'll find some people who know the story.
I just find it funny that there are Germanic people that speak a romantic language, and the English
Who?
are the French, and the English are a Celtic people, largely Celtic people that speak a kind of Germanic language.
It's still Germanic.
Yeah, the language is,
Especially when you get to, especially when you get to like the from a linguistic basis, when you speak simple sentences like say I want that, like all those words are Germanic origin.
Obviously it is Germanic, but the point is that the people aren't, because
No, no.
genes travel slower than languages,
Yeah.
which is really
That's
interesting.
that's why me, somebody who have German and English descent, hates the Germans. So,
Well, the Dutch do too. So,
Oh, dude. Yeah.
but like that
Dutch
was
and
in
Germans hate each other.
the Skin in the Game that I was reading, that genes actually, contrary to popular belief, they don't travel that quickly. Like you can have a massive invasion, but the people will largely remain the same. Just the language and the culture changes. Like even culture
Yeah.
is quicker to change than genes are.
Yeah,
So,
there's
like,
I actually saw a video the other day that brought up a question I never thought about, which is why do we use the word do so much?
what, DUE?
No, do.
Oh, do, as
Yeah.
opposed to due. Right? Okay.
No, as opposed to just not having do where it's not necessary,
Ah.
right?
So do this, do that.
Do this, do that. I did wash the dishes, or did you wash the
It's
dishes?
just
It's
past
like,
tense, isn't it?
and yeah, and most people. So like in most languages, you wouldn't say, what do you do? You'll say like, what's your job? What's your occupation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you won't use like do, the equivalent of do in that sentence twice. And they'll say, do you want this? They'll just say, you want this, which it still happens in English, but it's way less common. There's a theory that it's actually from Celtic languages,
Maybe.
because Welsh has this
Mm-hmm.
weird. They've used the word do weirdly,
Well,
and it
most-
just became, and when like the new these after the Anglo-Saxon invasions, when the people adopted the English language, they didn't speak it well, so they just put the word do in the same way they used it in
there was a vowel switch in like the medieval
Shakespeare's
period.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, round
Shakespeare
about.
was living during the Great Vowel Shift.
So like that was mainly Norse and Anglo-Saxon people or something. I think it was Norse and French people not bothering to change
God,
their
I
vowels.
hate.
So
Yeah, which is why we need to reform the way we spell things in the English language.
well, I watched this channel. He's a linguist. He does like old English languages. It was more Norse people than it was
Yeah.
the French.
But I hate it.
But,
I mean, because like we used to pronounce the K in night. It
yeah,
used to be pronounced knicht.
More Nightingale, Nightingale or something like that. It changed
Well,
all
no,
the time.
I'm talking about early modern English, not old English.
But by Shakespeare's
Or
time,
Middle
it was
English.
Nightingale though. I think.
Yeah, it was. But like during like early English, it was knief, knicht, stuff like that.
I think you might be
Sit very-
watching. I think you're watching the same guy that I'm watching.
No, Lang Focus?
Oh no, I watch a Cumbrian guy. I
No.
forgot his name.
Lang Focus did a
Simon
video on
Roper.
this recently.
That's who I watch.
He also did a video, I think, several months ago on why English spelling is so awful.
You can argue that
yeah.
French spelling is awful. I don't know.
It is too. We get a lot of our awful spelling from French.
But,
Like there were a few writers at the time that deliberately wanted to Latinize and Francifize, or whatever the fuck the word is, Gallicize. That's the word. Gallicize the English language. So scythe didn't used to be spelled SCYTHE.
It was just
It used to
SY.
be spelled used to be SITHE.
Oh, interesting.
It was so so they would do shit like that, and like the rule for like you can't split infinitives is completely made up. It was some guy in the 1800s who was like, I want English to be like Latin for some reason.
I mean, it's closer to Latin than it is French.
Mm.
But
But but you can split infinitives in English. So split all the
Yeah.
infinitives you want.
That's what I do. I've split
Cut
infinitives.
them up, split them, divide them, let them bleed.
Yeah, like Microsoft Word is like split infinitive. And I'm like, but it makes sense.
No, yeah. There were some rules that were just completely made up. It's like, no.
But like, anyway, I was on about were you on about the Welsh? Well, most Welsh people are just the English people that evacuated, the ones who chose to leave as opposed to stay.
Are there any ethnic Welsh people left there?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
they're just English now. They're called English.
I'm trying to think. Oh, what's that one town? It's like Llanfair.
Oh yeah, the longest.
Yeah, blah
Blah blah blah blah blah. Change your name.
Change your name, attention whores.
Yeah, but like most, at least in the west of England, most people have largely stayed the same. It's more in the east that things changed. Like really, what would happen is the men would get killed, but the girls would survive mostly anyway. And but apparently the genes don't change despite that, which is interesting. And Black Lord of Fenrir is asking if we heard of the Uroms, who are Greeks who live in Crimea and Georgia but speak a language similar to Turkish.
Yes,
Again, like,
I do. I have heard of them.
yeah, and also most Turkish people are actually ethnically Turkish. They're the same people that have lived in Anatolia for thousands of years. They just speak Turkish. Thurg says one of the major problems with English spelling is that English has 43 different sounds but only 26 letters. It's true.
Well, I mean, we could fix that. I mean, really, the way we do it is just combine letters together. Like the sound qua, we just use QU. So, yeah.
And as he says, we have so many vowels, they're spread across regional dialects. Well, that's why we should just keep it the way it is. Like, don't try and standardise it.
Yeah,
That's
why
where our
not?
strength comes from.
Makes it easier.
What,
Makes it
standardising
I mean,
it?
like, if you standardize it, you spend way less time learning the language and more time learning something else.
But then we lose all our accents.
You don't lose accents. Who
Yeah, you do.
cares? Why not?
You do, because it's a different way of pronouncing things, and part of standardising
No.
it is to change the pronunciation. It's not just
No,
spelling.
no. The most English spelling reform is to reflect the current pronunciation of things.
True, but it tries to influence it as well, I would say.
I mean, it's like you don't say lag, you say laugh.
Well, not for much longer.
Yeah.
You never know, we might change. I'm lagging at you. But anyway, we're over time.
Please don't
Imagine,
say that.
imagine. Have you seen Gundam Wing? Not Gundam Wing, just Gundam, where the Char goes, "I came to laugh at you. I came to lag at you."
No.
It's just it's a funny quote, but
You're
anyway,
a funny quote.
you're a funny quote. Anyway, we've gone over time, so anyway, last words, Alcazar.
Israel did nothing wrong.
Oliver Cromwell did half wrong. There we are. And that's for the rest of you. Get out.
Get out.